The Houthis claim they have widened their campaign to target one of Saudi Arabia's most strategic energy lifelines. A reported strike near Yanbu has put fresh pressure on Saudi Arabia's Red Sea energy corridor. The Red Sea confrontation is escalating again as the Houthis continue to target Saudi-linked shipping. As Riyadh pushes for de-escalation with Iran, fighting with the Houthis shows no sign of easing. Yemen's Houthis on August 5 claimed they had targeted a Saudi oil tanker operating off the coast of the Red Sea port city of Yanbu. Houthi military spokesman Yahya Saree announced the reported missile attack but did not specify exactly when the strike had taken place. The group did not identify the tanker involved or provide any details about the extent of damage allegedly caused by the attack. Saudi authorities had not issued any immediate comment or independently confirmed the reported strike at the time of the announcement. Yanbu is one of Saudi Arabia's most important Red Sea ports, serving as a major hub for oil exports and strategic energy shipments. The latest claim came as maritime security across the Red Sea remained under heightened tension amid continuing Houthi military operations. The reported strike adds to growing concerns over risks facing commercial shipping and energy traffic moving through strategically important Middle Eastern waters.
The Yemeni Houthi armed forces, by the grace of God, managed to target the Saudi oil tanker Wafa in the northern Red Sea off the region of Yanbu, using a number of ballistic missiles. By the grace of God, the hit was precise. With this targeting, the total number of vessels targeted by our forces has reached 8 Saudi oil tankers since the start of the naval blockade on July 22nd. Meanwhile, the total number of vessels that were intercepted and forced to retreat and turn back in the Red Sea and Arabian Sea has reached 29 Saudi oil tankers. Following the success of the Yemeni Houthi armed forces, by God's grace, in tightening the naval blockade against the Saudi enemy from Bab el-Mandeb in the southern Red Sea, the Saudi enemy moved to rear out its oil tankers toward the northern Red Sea. Therefore, the Yemeni Houthi armed forces affirm that their operations will continue and escalate in targeting Saudi oil tankers in the northern Red Sea to close all passages to them and prevent them from passing, in order to firmly establish the blockade for blockade equation, regardless of the results and consequences.
Houthi drones wreak havoc inside Saudi Arabia once again, opening yet another dangerous front in the rapidly escalating regional conflict. Saudi Arabia's Nadran airport has reportedly come under fresh Houthi drone attack, raising new concerns over the kingdom's air defenses. The Houthis claim a precision drone strike successfully hit a sensitive asset inside Saudi Arabia's Nadran airport during the latest operation. The latest Houthi strike appears to be a tit-for-tat response after Riyadh allegedly carried out drone operations inside Yemeni territory. Yahya Saree said, and I quote, "By the grace of God, the Yemeni armed forces have succeeded in targeting a sensitive asset of the Saudi enemy at Nadran airport using a drone, with the strike being precise. This targeting comes in response to the Saudi enemy's violation of the airspace in the provinces of Sada and Hajjah using its drones. We affirm to the Saudi enemy that any violation of our airspace will not go unpunished or without retaliation." Iran-backed Houthis send a fresh warning after Saudi oil tankers reportedly broke through the group's declared maritime blockade. Saudi Arabia's ultimatum to Trump appears to have stopped his biggest planned Iran attack in its tracks, with Riyadh pressing Washington to hold back just as the Houthis tested Saudi oil routes. 2 tankers carrying Saudi crude broke the Houthis' Bab el-Mandeb blockade, slipping out of the Red Sea with their trackers switched off. As Lesvos and Desh Vibov went dark and slid past Yemen's coast as Trump made a U-turn on Iran, shelving intense strikes. 2 tankers carrying Saudi crude quietly crossed the Bab el-Mandeb chokepoint on August 1st and 2nd, defying Houthi threats that had turned the southern Red Sea into a declared war zone. The tankers Lesvos and Desh Vibov transited with their AIS tracking system switched off, effectively going dark to reduce their visibility as they slipped past Yemen's missile and drone envelope. Shipping data showed Lesvos was loaded with around 1 million barrels of Saudi crude, underscoring how even single voyages through the strait now carry high-stakes volumes of oil. Desh Vibov, meanwhile, was hauling roughly 2 million barrels of Saudi crude to India, highlighting how refiners in Asia are still willing to accept elevated risk to secure supplies. In contrast, a tanker carrying Russian naphtha elected to divert around Africa to avoid the Red Sea route entirely, opting for a longer, costlier journey rather than face the Houthi threat corridor. These movements came after the Houthis declared a maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia on July 20th, vowing to target vessels linked to the kingdom in an eye-for-an-eye response. That embargo effectively opened a new front in the Iran war, shifting part of the conflict onto Red Sea shipping lanes and Saudi export routes instead of just missile duels over land. Since then, traffic through Bab el-Mandeb has fallen sharply, with CLR data showing only 18 commodity vessels transiting on August 2nd, down from typical flows just days earlier. Shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has also slowed after reported tanker attacks, signaling that both of the Gulf's critical energy choke points are now under sustained pressure. On August 1st, only 10 commodity vessels passed through Hormuz, according to CLR figures, a number that illustrates how quickly risk can choke off normal flows. UK maritime authorities have reported 3 tanker attacks since August 1st, adding to insurers' alarm and reinforcing the sense that commercial shipping is now on the front line of the conflict. At the same time, Gaslog has reported a security incident involving its LNG tanker Gaslog Shanghai, bringing gas carriers into the list of assets facing direct threat in regional waters. Taken together, these disruptions have raised fresh concerns over global energy shipping routes, with analysts warning that prolonged Houthi and Iran-linked attacks could force a structural rerouting of oil and gas around Africa. Meanwhile, Donald Trump made a sharp U-turn just days after threatening intense new strikes on Iran, abruptly canceling the planned attacks.
So go ahead.
What prompted you to call off the strikes last night?
I was asked to by Saudi Arabia, by UAE, by Qatar, and by Iran. We were all set to go. It's about at this time right now, and it would have been a massive attack. We're all set to go, but when the allies asked to call it off, you got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is they think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then there will be a deal on the nuclear, or you might call it the denuclearization of Iran. I call it the denuclearization of Iran.
What should we expect?
We're holding it. We'll just see. We can do it anytime we want. But we were asked by the 3 primary groups. We were also asked by Iran, very strongly actually. They said, we'd like to make a deal. Now, I don't know what they say, because a lot of times they'll say that to me, and then they'll go out and say, we don't know what he's talking about. Obviously, they don't want to be attacked. And they knew the extent of the attack because they saw it forming.
What happens now?
Now what we're doing is we're talking to them in the form of a negotiation. It begins tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see if it's true. I'd love to do that, save a lot of lives, save a lot of unnecessary power, to be honest with you. It'll take many, many years to ever build it back. If it could, I don't think it would be even buildable back. So we had an attack that would be the biggest attack since World War II, and it would have been disastrous for them. And they didn't want us to do it. And frankly, Saudi Arabia didn't want it either. They thought that a deal is imminent.
Deadline, sir,
and the deal is imminent, having to do with the Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization. So when I hear that, I say, well, do we want to go and be this? Now, there's a group of people that would like me to just do it. And there's another group of people that does not want me to do it.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.